This guy walks into this bar and he has this little dude with him that's about 1 foot tall, who immediately sees the piano in the bar, goes to it, and starts playing magnificently. The bartender sees this, goes over to the big guy and says, cut. Where'd you find this guy? And the guy says, oh, there's a genie outside that's granting wishes. The bartender immediately runs outside and says, I want $1 million. He receives $1 million. Perturbed, he rushes back in, confronts the big guy and says, what the hell? The guy says, what? You think I wanted a 12-inch pianist? It's a cold start this morning. Welcome to episode 2. Damn it, I picked up a flat on the sidewall. I'm near home, just gonna go back and change it. On these tufos I can ride them home, but shoot, hate that. We'll talk later. This puts a crank in my mileage. I have about 408 miles to do before the end of the year if I want to reach 9,000. Even though it's not a primary goal, that's the number, and so that's kind of calling me like a siren. We'll see what I can do today. Well, I might as well take the advantage and talk now. Okay, so these are Tufo tires. And Tufo tires are, they're like tubulars, but they have little clincher connections in here that work on a clincher tire. The advantage is you can ride them home when you get a flat. You can put a lot of sealant in it. Disadvantage is it takes a while to change. The subject for the day is training for racing versus training to minimize the degradation of aging. Now, don't get me wrong. Training for racing helps check off a number of items with respect to minimizing the degradation of aging, but it misses some items, specifically balance and strength. The reason I put a few less miles in this year is because I've been dedicating that time and energy to filling in those gaps in strength and balance. One of the things is that I started running. That helps with both balance and strength. It helps me retain a little bit of calcium, which maybe I was having a little trouble with. In terms of the balance aspect, it's helping me use muscles that I may not have been using so much before because, as we know, cycling is a linear sport. Because of where I live, I have the opportunity to run on gravel roads as opposed to asphalt or cement. I also started swimming, which, by the way, is too cold to do now. Even though I've been doing upper body lifting, swimming is a great way to tie in those muscles through functionality. With respect to my lifting, in terms of the upper body, I've always been lifting upper body, but now I'm going a bit heavier. I've also changed my focus a little bit, focusing on areas that I need some help in. For example, standing up straight and not slouching, not letting those shoulders roll in, working on my forearms, improving my grip strength, and being more diligent by working on all aspects of my core. And though I have to do a better job, working on my hip mobility. So why have I increased the balance aspect of my training? Well, because that involves muscles, and if I'm not using those muscles, at my age, it's not just atrophy, it's sarcopenia. In other words, they get broken down and they'll never come back. Now, there are certain areas this time associated with cycling where I emphasize certain things while changing some others. Specifically, I do a lot of endurance where I have constant pressure on the pedals. I also dedicate 1 day a week to doing VO2 max work, specifically 4x4s, 4 minutes on, 4 minutes off. Granted, once the time changed and the afternoon daylight lessened, that went away and that went more toward Zwift races, which is not the same thing, but better than nothing. Okay, back on the road again. I texted my training partner, have a new meeting time, and now I gotta hoof it. Just forgot to change, I'll change it now, but
you got 4 minutes. Okay.
Okay.
If you want to go in, I'll watch the bikes.
Okay.
Restrooms in the far back corner.
And I'm gonna go buy something, I think. We're about halfway through. We're in a little town called Centerville. Good thing I'm doing a lot of editing on this thing. So if I'm lucky, I'm gonna get 100 miles in. The pace I'm doing is more easy to moderates. I've done Zwift races before where the next day I've been fine out on the road, but I can feel my legs a little bit, and that may be because of that huge ride I did on Saturday. I took a couple days off, and then actually 2 days off, got on, did a little Zwift, and then started the 10-day block. So I'm on his wheel. He's a big guy like me, and he's a good windbreak.
Trying to get smaller
Yeah, both of us are.
after the holidays.
Pretty much this workout was endurance. Now, I rode a bunch of miles to get to the start. William and I did about 50 miles of paceline work, and that paceline work was 1 minute on, 1 minute off. Usually when William and I are doing this workout, when you're in the front, you're doing tempo. When you're in the back, you're doing moderate, maybe upper endurance. This time, because I was hurting so much when I would put a lot of pressure on the pedals, I kept it easy to moderate endurance. Because this was a slower pace for William, he focused on keeping his cadence above 95 the entire time. Okay, so we separated. William went on way home, and I'm on my way home, but I'm going to, if I went straight home, I'd be hitting something like 89 miles, and I had it in my head to do 100. Now, most of this ride for me has been easy to moderate endurance, and now it's just easy. That Zwift race affected me more than I thought it would, and I think it's because of that big ride I did Saturday. I'm semi-concerned about the muscles. I'm more concerned about tendons, because it's starting to feel a little tendony. The Fetching Mrs. Cycling Greek is not here. I could go an extra 3 miles, but I don't want to. All right, so 97 miles. So it seems like I have 310 miles to go to break 9,000. Now, you would think with 7 days left I could do that, but we have a little bit of rain. We have a very old body. And tomorrow, since today was a long day, this is going to be a very short day. So, we'll see. All right, so this is episode 2. Stay tuned for tomorrow. I'll be talking about something. All right, comment, like, subscribe. The Cycling Greek.